Birmingham, Alabama, August 1965. Late afternoon. The sun hangs heavy over downtown, turning the humid air into something you wear rather than breathe. Muhammad Ali sits in the back seat of a black Cadillac, his driver navigating the streets carefully. Too carefully. Because Birmingham in 1965 is not a place where a famous black man can relax. Not even Muhammad Ali. Especially not Muhammad Ali. He's in town for an exhibition bout tomorrow night. A small venue. A charity event for the local NAACP chapter. His manager tried to talk him out of it. Said Birmingham is too dangerous right now. 2 years after the church bombing that killed 4 little girls. 1 year after the voting rights marches. The city is a powder keg. The Klan is active. Angry. Looking for symbols to attack. And Ali, with his conversion to Islam, his name change, his refusal to be Cassius Clay anymore, his loud criticism of white America's treatment of black people, he's not just a symbol. He's a target. But Ali said yes anyway. Said these are his people. Said if they're scared to live here, the least he can do is show up for one night. Show them they matter. Show them someone sees them. So here he is, rolling through Birmingham in August heat that makes breathing feel like drowning. The car pulls up to a small diner on the edge of downtown. Nothing fancy. Just a local place where Ali's supposed to meet some community leaders before tomorrow's event. The driver hesitates. Champ, maybe we should go somewhere else. This neighborhood, the looks we're getting. Ali waves him off. We're here. Let's eat. They walk into the diner. It's small. Maybe 15 tables. Half full. Mostly black patrons, a few white folks scattered around. Conversation doesn't stop exactly, but it shifts. People recognize Ali immediately. Some smile. Some look worried. The white customers look different. Harder. One man in particular, sitting at the counter, turns fully around to stare. He's maybe 40. Wearing work clothes stained with grease. Thick arms. Hard face. Eyes that carry something cold and certain. Ali and his driver take a booth near the back. The waitress, a young black woman, approaches nervous but trying to hide it. Takes their order. Ali orders a burger and coffee. Tries to put her at ease with a joke about the heat. She smiles but keeps glancing toward the counter. Toward the man who's still staring. The food comes. Ali eats. Talks with his driver about tomorrow's event. Who's coming? What the format will be. Standard conversation. But the tension in the room is growing. The man at the counter hasn't looked away. Hasn't touched his food. Just sits there, staring, radiating hostility like heat off asphalt. Finally, the man stands. Walks toward Ali's booth. Slow. Deliberate. His boots heavy on the linoleum. The diner goes quiet now. Actually quiet. Everyone watching. Everyone knowing something is about to happen. Ali's driver tenses. Starts to stand. Ali puts a hand on his arm. Stays seated. Waits. The man stops at their table. Looks down at Ali. Up close, you can see more details. The tattoos on his forearms. Crude. Prison ink maybe. Or basement work done by someone who didn't care about artistry. The weathered skin of someone who works outside. The clenched jaw of someone carrying anger like a second skeleton. He says, "You're that boxer. The one who changed his name." His voice is flat. Controlled. More dangerous than yelling would be. Ali says, calmly, "Muhammad Ali." "Yes, sir, that's me." The man's jaw works. "Don't call me sir. I don't take respect from your kind. You come into our city, into our neighborhood, thinking you can just sit here like you belong. Like you're equal. You ain't equal. You never will be. And that Muslim name you took. That's an insult to every Christian in this country. You're a disgrace. To boxing. To America. To everything decent." The diner is frozen. Nobody moves. Nobody speaks. Ali's driver starts to stand again. Ali stops him again. Just looks at the man. Studying him. No anger on Ali's face. No fear. Just observation. like he's trying to understand something. Ollie says, quietly, "What's your name?" The man blinks. Wasn't expecting that question. Says, "Don't matter." Ollie says, "It matters to me. I'd like to know the name of the man I'm talking to." Long pause. The man's face twitches. Some internal struggle. Finally, Ray. "Ray Patterson." Ollie nods. "Ray Patterson. Good to meet you, Ray. I'm Muhammad Ali, but you already know that. Would you like to sit down?" Ray stares. "I don't sit with people like me," Ali finishes. "I know. But maybe just for a few minutes? You obviously have things you want to say. I'm willing to listen. Rather do it sitting down like men than standing up like we're about to fight." Ray hesitates. This isn't how this was supposed to go. He came over to intimidate, to make a statement, to run Ollie out. But Ollie isn't responding the way he's supposed to. Isn't getting angry. Isn't backing down. Just offering a seat. A conversation. Ray doesn't know what to do with that. Finally, stiffly, Ray sits. Across from Ollie. The driver looks like he wants to object. Ollie shakes his head slightly. "It's okay. Let this happen." Silence for a moment. Ray's hands are on the table. Fists clenched. Ali's hands are relaxed. "Open," he says. "You don't like me. That's clear. Can I ask why? Specifically?" Ray's face darkens. "You know why. You're trying to tear down everything this country stands for. Everything we built. You people want to take over. Want special treatment. Want to act like you're the same as us when you're not. Never will be. That's just biology. Just the way God made the world." Ollie listens. Doesn't interrupt. Lets Ray finish. Then says, "Who taught you that?" "Taught me what?" "That I'm different than you. That I'm less than you. That God made it that way. Who taught you to believe that?" Ray's jaw tightens. "It's just truth. Everyone knows it." "Everyone?" Ollie asks gently. "Or just the people who raised you? The people in your community? The people who benefit from you believing that? Don't try to confuse me with your words. I know what I know." Ollie leans back. "Okay. Let me ask different. You ever actually talked to a black person before today? Like really talked? Not ordered around. Not told what to do. Actually sat down and had a conversation?" Ray shifts uncomfortably. Doesn't answer. Ollie continues, "I'm going to guess no. Or not many times. So everything you know about me, about people who look like me, you learned from other people. People who told you I'm dangerous. Inferior. A threat. And you believed them. Never questioned it. Never tested it. Just accepted it as true. Am I right?" "My father." "Your father taught you," Ollie says. Not accusing. Just stating. And his father taught him. And back and back. Generations of teaching. Of passing down beliefs. Of making sure the lesson sticks. I understand that. That's powerful. That's hard to question. But Ray, let me ask you something. When you look at me right now, sitting here across from you, what do you actually see?" Ray stares. "I see He stops. The word he was going to use hangs in the air. He doesn't say it. Something shifts in his expression. Ollie says, softly, "You see a man. Same as you. Eating a burger. Having a conversation. Breathing the same air. Bleeding the same blood if you cut me. Maybe you don't want to see that. Maybe it's easier to see something else. Something that justifies how you've been taught to feel. But what's actually in front of you right now is just a man." Ray's fists unclench slightly. "It ain't that simple." "It is that simple," Ollie says. "It's people who make it complicated. Who need it to be complicated. Because if it's simple, if we're just people, then all the things they taught you don't make sense anymore. All the hate doesn't have a foundation. And that's scary. I get that. It's scary to question what you've always believed." Ray's breathing is heavier now. "You don't know nothing about me. About my life. About what I've been through. You're right, Ollie agrees. I don't. So tell me. Ray blinks. What? Tell me about your life. What you've been through. Why you're so angry at me when you don't even know me. Ray sits back. The question has disarmed him completely. Nobody asks him about his life. Nobody cares. He's just supposed to be angry, supposed to hate, supposed to defend the old ways. But this man, this famous boxer he came over to intimidate, is asking him to explain himself. To be heard. Slowly, haltingly, Ray starts talking. About growing up poor. About his father working in the steel mills until his lungs gave out. About never having enough. About watching black workers get hired for jobs he wanted. About being told they were taking what was his. About the anger that grew from feeling cheated. Forgotten. Blamed for being white but not getting any of the benefits he was told whiteness should bring. Ollie listens. Really listens. Doesn't interrupt. Doesn't argue. Just lets Ray talk. And as Ray talks, something happens. The anger in his voice starts to crack. Underneath it is something else. Pain. Fear. Confusion. The realization that maybe the people he's been angry at aren't actually the cause of his problems. Maybe they're just convenient targets. Maybe someone else benefits from him staying angry at the wrong people. When Ray finishes, Ollie says, "That's hard. Really hard. And I'm sorry you've struggled. Sorry your father struggled. But Ray, the black workers who got hired, they didn't create the system that kept your father poor. The system created the competition. Made you and them fight for scraps while other people, richer people, white people with power, they kept everything else. They want you to hate me. Because if you hate me, you won't look at them. Won't question why there ain't enough for everyone. Won't ask why your father worked himself to death while other men got rich off his labor." Ray is quiet. Processing. His hands are fully open now. Resting on the table. The tension in his shoulders has dropped. Ollie continues, "You hate me because someone taught you to. Not because you know me. Not because I ever did anything to hurt you. You hate me because it's easier than hating the people actually responsible for your pain. But Ray, I'm not your enemy. Never was. The man keeping you down, keeping your father down, he probably looks a lot more like you than like me. He just convinced you to look the other way." Tears form in Ray's eyes. He wipes them quickly, angry at himself for showing weakness. But they come anyway, because something is breaking open. Something that's been locked tight for 40 years. He says, voice rough, I don't know what to do with this." Ollie reaches across the table. Slowly. Telegraphing the movement. Giving Ray time to pull back if he wants. Places his hand over Ray's. Says, "You don't have to do anything right now. Just think about it. Ask yourself if the hate you've been carrying is actually yours, or if someone else put it there. Ask yourself if it's making your life better or worse. Ask yourself if maybe, just maybe, we're all just people trying to survive in a system that wasn't built for any of us." They sit like that for a moment. Ollie's hand on Ray's. In 1965, Birmingham, Alabama. In a diner where this kind of moment shouldn't be possible. Where everything in the culture says these two men should be enemies. Should hate each other. Should never touch except in violence. But here they are. Connected. Human. Ray pulls his hand back eventually. Wipes his eyes. Stands up. Says, "I need to go." His voice is shaking. Ollie says, "Okay. Thank you for sitting with me, Ray. For talking." Ray nods. Doesn't say anything else. Just walks toward the door. His gait is different than when he walked over. Less certain. Less rigid. Like something that was holding him together has loosened and he's not sure how to walk without it. At the door, he stops. Turns back. Looks at Ollie. Opens his mouth. Closes it. Opens it again. Finally says, "I'm sorry. For what I said. For how I'm sorry." Ollie nods. "I forgive you, Ray. And I hope you forgive yourself." Ray leaves. The door closes behind him. The diner is still silent. Everyone has watched this entire interaction, witnessed something they've never seen before. Reconciliation where there should have been violence. Understanding where there should have been hate. A bridge built where there should have been a wall. Ali's driver says quietly, "That was dangerous, champ. He could have had a weapon. Could have had friends outside. Could have been setting you up." Ali says, "Maybe. But he didn't. He just needed someone to see him. To listen. To not be the enemy he was taught I was." Most people carrying hate like that, they're really carrying pain. Somebody just pointed their pain in the wrong direction. The waitress brings the check. Her hands are shaking. She says, "That man, Ray Patterson, he's known around here. Not a good man. Part of, well, you know, part of the groups that do bad things to people like us. What you just did, I don't know if it'll change him. But I never seen anything like it. Never seen someone respond to hate with that." Ali pays the check. Tips generously. Says, "Maybe it'll change him. Maybe it won't. But at least now he knows someone who looks like me treated him like a human when he didn't deserve it. Maybe that plants a seed. Maybe seeds grow. Maybe they don't. But you can't harvest what you never plant." 3 weeks later, Ali gets a letter. No return address. Just postmarked Birmingham. Inside, written in shaky handwriting, "Mr. Ali. I was the man in the diner. Ray. I haven't stopped thinking about what you said. I went to see my father's grave. Asked him why he taught me to hate people who never hurt us. Didn't get an answer. But I think I know. Fear. And someone using that fear. I'm trying to do better. Don't know if I can change everything I was taught. But I'm trying. Thank you for not hitting me when I deserved it. Thank you for talking to me when you didn't have to. Ray." Ali keeps the letter. Puts it with other letters from people whose lives he touched. Later, when asked about his legacy, about what he's most proud of, he mentions that conversation. Says, "I've knocked out a lot of men in the ring. But the best thing I ever did was not knock out a man who was asking for it. Best thing I ever did was talk instead of fight. Listen instead of lecture. See a human being instead of an enemy. That's harder than any fight. But that's the fight that matters." The moment in the diner becomes a story. Gets told and retold. Sometimes the details change. Sometimes Ray becomes multiple people. Sometimes it's a restaurant, sometimes a gas station. But the core stays true. The day Muhammad Ali chose love over hate. Chose understanding over judgment. Chose to plant a seed instead of throw a punch. We don't know what happened to Ray Patterson. If the change stuck. If he continued questioning what he was taught. If he passed different lessons to his children than his father passed to him. We hope so. But we don't know. What we do know is that Ali gave him a chance. Gave him a moment where being human mattered more than being right. Where connection mattered more than confrontation. That's the real legacy. Not the boxing. Not the titles. Not even the political stands, as important as those were. The real legacy is moments like the diner. Where Ali could have been what Ray expected, what Ray was taught to fear, what would have confirmed every prejudice Ray carried. But instead, Ali was something Ray never expected. Kind. Patient. Willing to listen. Willing to forgive. Willing to see Ray as a person trapped in the same system Ali was fighting against. The question isn't whether Ray changed. The question is, what Ray Patterson are you encountering? What person have you been taught to hate, to fear, to see as fundamentally different, less than, dangerous? And when you encounter them, do you respond the way you were taught? The way that maintains the divide? The way that keeps the cycle going? Or do you do what Ali did? Stop. Listen. Ask questions. Challenge not their humanity but the source of their hate. See the person underneath the anger. Plant a seed even when you have every right to throw a punch. Because hate is taught. Nobody's born with it. Ray Patterson wasn't born hating Muhammad Ali. He was taught to hate people who looked like Ali. Taught by his father. Who was taught by his father. Generation after generation of inherited hate. Until someone breaks the cycle. Until someone says no. Until someone plants a different seed. Ollie planted that seed in a Birmingham diner in 1965. We're still watching to see what grows.